the fuck? What the fuck is this world?
Look, she may or may not. I've seen some of her videos too. Play this one and let's have a look. Stubble versus Giggle
was
Chris
bonkers.
said in the
Wait until you hear about this. Now, I have spoken about both these cases before, but I figured it's time for a recap considering Australia is, the laughing stock of the world again. And these two cases, if you haven't heard about them before, are going to blow your mind. Firstly, I'd like to introduce you to Kirralie Smith. Kirralie Smith made a few posts on X, I believe it was, calling out men in women's soccer teams. In particular, a team who plays in North Sydney called the Flying Bats. Now, I've also spoken about the Flying Bats and Balls before, but they are the soccer team that has upwards of 5 male players. And unsurprisingly, they continue to dominate every competition that they play in. 2 of the male players sued Kirralie for vilification and they won. So she was fined $95,000 simply for sharing publicly available information about men in women's sport. I believe her appeal hearing is coming up next Monday, so please go and support her. And secondly, we have the lovely Jasmine Sussex, a breastfeeding advocate who was sacked as a volunteer by the Australian Breastfeeding Association for saying that men can't breastfeed. She's also being sued for vilification by Jennifer Buckley, who's a paramedic who boasted online about the fact that he took a cocktail of drugs to induce lactation. Now, as a breastfeeding mum myself, I have to say all this with a smile on my face because otherwise I will go insane. No, of course men can't breastfeed. The moob juice that they excrete is not breast milk. Any biological male who's sticking his nipple into an infant is a predator. Now, her case is still in the works. They've got to iron out some details, including the fact that his lawyers are trying to restrict access to his medical records, which are pretty important to the case. But nevertheless, you should also go and support Jasmine Sussex. So for anyone who wants to say, where are the women that are pushing back against this insanity? They're there. They're doing it. Unfortunately, they just don't get the exposure of the larger accounts. So please, if you've got a spare minute today, look into Kirralie Smith, look into Jasmine Sussex. Let's get behind these women. Because men shouldn't be playing in women's sport and men can't breastfeed.
It's fucked, bro. It's fucked, man. It's so fucked up.
I'm just over it. That's actually quite interesting.
What?
You know what she says at the end, where she says, because we've been saying that. Where are the women fighting against this?
Yep. Well, they're obviously, like she said, there's a few. There's not as many as you'd want, and especially the loud ones aren't saying fuck all. But there are there. They just obviously, like she said, they don't get the coverage. How's the comment you got up? When I first got on, it was stuck on Wayne repeating himself. I was like, what the fuck? That's just every episode. It's just me going round and round in circles, repeating myself like a fucking clown.